A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, actually not that far away, there was nothing. I mean, really nothing. There was no space, no stars, no planets, no galaxies or nebulae, no light or darkness, no time or space, no land or sea, no life of any kind, not even atoms. And that's how we got day and night. That's pretty good. One day old. Now we're getting somewhere. This God character isn't wasting any time. I gotta say, this guy's working overtime. We don't get much rest. Even the sun and the moon got called into action to help set the hours, minutes, and seconds of our lives. 3 days old, and we're almost there. There was absolutely nothing. In just 6 days, God created everything, heaven and earth, land and sea, plants and animals, the sun, the moon and the stars, and finally, humans with all their wonder and potential. And he did such an excellent job that even the aliens across the universe are praising his work. But what if I told you there's another side to this tale, a different perspective that many Christians overlook? It's a profound theological statement that delves into the very essence of our existence. A universe begins as a void, formless and empty, enveloped by darkness. This poetic style invites us to contemplate the rhythm and harmony of creation. In this passage, we witness the formation of Adam from the dust of the ground, followed by the insertion of the breath of life, which brought him to life. This poetic rendering of creation emphasizes the sacredness of life, reminding us that we're not merely products of chance or evolution, but beings imbued with a divine spark. Then he created the dry land and the sea. He filled the sea with fish and the land with animals and plants. However, these genealogies don't provide a reliable basis for calculating the age of the earth. For example, Psalm 90:4 says, "For 1,000 years in your sight are like yesterday, which has passed like a dream, like a vision of the night." This metaphor suggests that the duration of human life is fleeting compared to the vastness of God's existence. Applying this analogy to the age of the universe would be a misinterpretation of the text. They were likely intended to show Jesus' legal right to the throne of David rather than to establish a historical timeline. I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. May your journey through the Word of God continue to be filled with wonder and enlightenment. It focuses primarily on the creation of the earth and its inhabitants and the establishment of humanity's relationship with God. Any attempt to reconcile the Genesis account with scientific theories, such as the Big Bang or evolution, requires extra-biblical assumptions and interpretations. They're not separate creations, but rather complementary parts of the same whole. This imagery suggests equality, partnership, and mutual dependence. Taking the Genesis account literally as an empirical account of the origins of the universe and life on Earth is not supported by the text itself, nor does it align with scientific evidence and reason. He doesn't stand at a distance. He immerses himself in every aspect of bringing the universe into existence. This God is not distant or uninvolved. Rather than seeking to force a literal interpretation of Genesis to conform to scientific theories, we should be open to the possibility that both the Bible and science can offer complementary perspectives on the mystery of creation. The Bible reveals the theological truth about our origins and our relationship with God, while science illuminates the natural processes that have shaped our world. Ultimately, it's through faith that we understand that God is the creator and sustainer of all things. Our task is not to reconcile the Bible with scientific theories, but to explore the harmony that can exist between faith and reason as we seek to understand the wonders of creation. Many Christians read Genesis literally, believing that the universe is only 6,000 years old. They use this view to attack evolution, which goes against their belief in a young earth. However, the Bible doesn't actually say when the universe began. Genesis simply states that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The phrase "in the beginning" doesn't necessarily refer to the creation of the universe. Instead, it may indicate a point in time before the events described in the book of Genesis occurred. He is intimately engaged in the creative process, breathing life into his creations and nurturing the world into being. This portrayal of God as a caring and attentive creator lays the foundation for our understanding of him throughout the rest of the biblical narrative. Finally, he created humans, giving them dominion over the earth. The Genesis account highlights the interconnectedness of all living things, emphasizing that we're not isolated individuals, but rather part of a larger web of life. Our dominion is not one of exploitation, but of caretaking, ensuring the well-being of the planet and its inhabitants. But then, as we've heard, God steps into the void and with his powerful word brings forth light, separating it from darkness. This act of separation is a pivotal moment, symbolizing the emergence of order from chaos. It speaks to the inherent human tendency to seek structure and meaning in our experiences. Just as we need light to navigate the physical world, we also crave enlightenment to guide us through the complexities of life. Let me take you on a journey through this fascinating narrative, uncovering its hidden depths and exploring its relevance to us today. 4 days old and people, we have ourselves a jam-packed week. Then suddenly God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. He separated the light from the darkness. He then started creating land and seas. On the second day, he made the atmosphere and put a protective ozone layer in place to shield us from those harmful UV rays from the sun. That's some handy work. 2 days old, and so far this is looking like a winner. On the third day, God created dry land, and all the plants, the trees, the flowers, the shrubs, all the good stuff you need to make a planet look alive. If you ever doubted that this God was capable of making wonders, just look at the amazing variety of living things he produced in just 5 days. But on the fourth day, he invented the sun, the moon, and the stars to decorate the sky. But hold on to your seats, because on the fifth day, God made all the creatures of the water, fish and sea monsters and birds. Now, finally, on the sixth day, God made all the land animals, big and small, woolly mammoths and tiny ants, majestic lions and cute rabbits, you name it. And then came the most important creation, humans. You know, you and me, Adam and Eve, the first man and woman, were made in God's own image. We could think, feel, choose, and talk. God gave us dominion over the other animals and charged us with being good stewards of the earth. And to cap off this epic 6-day creation week, God rested on the seventh day, giving us the gift of the weekend. So there you have it. It's an awe-inspiring story, isn't it? A story that has shaped cultures, inspired art, and guided countless souls through the ages. You see, the Genesis account of creation, chapters 1 through 2, isn't just a religious text. In Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 to 31, we encounter the classic account of creation that we often associate with the Big Bang Theory. God didn't stop there. He went on to create the firmament, which was supposed to divide the waters above from the waters below. As we move to Genesis chapter 2, we transition to a different literary genre, a poetic narrative that dives into the creation of the first human, Adam. Furthermore, the creation of Eve from Adam's rib symbolizes the deep connection between men and women. Throughout these 2 chapters, we see a God who is actively involved in the process of creation. Now let's talk about something that's been bothering me. The idea of a 6,000-year-old earth is based on interpretations of genealogical records in the Bible, such as the lineage of Jesus in Matthew 1 and Luke 3. Moreover, there are numerous instances where the Bible uses figurative language or symbolism that shouldn't be taken literally. Furthermore, the Genesis account of creation doesn't provide a comprehensive explanation of the origins of life or the development of the universe. In conclusion, while the Genesis account of creation is a cornerstone of Christian faith, It's essential to recognize its literary context, theological purpose, and symbolic elements. As Christians, we should approach the Genesis account with reverence and humility, acknowledging that our understanding of creation is limited by our human perspective. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the creation account in Genesis. If you found this discussion thought-provoking